They call me WC, but my name is really Walton Clemens Carter, okay? Uh, my name is really Walton Clemens Carter. A lot of people didn't know that. My wife was telling somebody, said, I married your cousin. So the lady said, what's your cousin? She said, I married Walton Carter. So she said, I don't have a cousin named Walton Carter. So the lady asked her mom, said, Mom, do I have a cousin named Walton Carter? She said, I don't have a cousin named Walton Carter. And the lady said, that's WC. So everybody thinks my name is WC, but it's not. It is the initial WC. But anyway, it's Walton Clemens Carter. That's my name. Now, some of you all might not want to hear a lot of my presentation, but I got a little story to tell you, kind of, sort of. Once upon a time, I stayed with Estelle, Daddy, and stayed with him for about a year. And I've never ever seen a man always smile all the time. And in the summertime, he used to take us swimming. So when I was wondering, I said, Uncle, how could you float like a butterfly? He said, well, WC, I'm going to tell you. He said, you got to take some fish cuts, and you could be able to float and swim like me. I said, Uncle, are you serious? He says, yeah, I need some fish cuts. This man could float on his back, could do anything. So I said, well, I guess I'll never ever float like this because I'm not going to eat no fish. I can't get it out. I'm not going to eat any fish cuts, okay? Another thing happened, and he's not here. I was looking for him, Buddy, my cousin. He used to play jokes on me all the time. So I would follow them around like a little kid. And once upon a time, I got a chance to go to town with Buddy and Uncle Homer and myself. We used to go to town to get groceries on Saturdays. So one particular Saturday, we got left. Man, I really can't think of his name, Mr. Leonard. Estelle probably remember this guy. For some reason, we got left, and it's about 10 miles to town from Spring Hill Road to town in Tallahassee. So we got left, Buddy, and I forget this guy's name. I think his name was Stedo, I think. But anyway, you can remember that this was 70 years ago. I was 7 years old. Back then, they didn't have no electric lights and stuff on the road, so we had to walk 10 miles. We finally started walking, and Buddy would always run and leave me about 30 or 40 yards, or maybe 300 yards. And he would come back and say, WC, you better come. There's some bears and stuff out here. You better come and bring your butt on here, you know. I'm 7 years old now, okay? And they could fool me and tell me these things, so for some reason, I made it all the way. I don't know how I made it, those 10 miles to Spring Hill. Didn't know at the time. I went to bed that night and got up that morning, hit the floor. And I hollered, and Vic came. I don't know what she put on me. I don't know if it was snake oil or what. But they wouldn't be around me for 2 days because I smelled so bad, you know. But these are some of the things that happened to me when I was growing up as a kid. Another thing happened. I'm just telling you these things before we get into a lot of detail. I was in school one day, and I got out of school, and back then, excuse me, back then $1 was $1. So I went to see Uncle Doc, and I heard Uncle Doc was working at this mill, Hannah Lumber Company, I think that was the name of it. And I said, Uncle Doc, I think I've lost it a little bit. I think I lost, okay, there we go. I think I lost it. But anyway, I didn't know Uncle Doc was so powerful. So I said, Uncle Doc, I need a job because I need to go back to school. I'm in college and need to work. He said, okay. He called me W. He said, okay, W, I'm going to hire you, but you got to work. I said, okay, Uncle Doc, so you better say yes sir and no sir in those days. Okay, so he hired me and 2 other guys there. I'll never forget. The summer, I worked, the first day I worked, on Monday, I'll never forget this. I worked that first day, and Uncle Doc told me, he said, W, always call me W. He said, W, all you want to do is stack this lumber over here. And I didn't know Uncle Doc could hire and fire like that. He was the man. I mean, back then, white, black, or whoever, he could hire and fire you. And whatever he said, that man would go. I mean, they honored him as being the man. So he had these other two men, and he worked the heck out of those two men. The first day, they quit. He said, I can't work with you, Doc. I can't work with you, Doc. I'm gone. He said, okay, fine. So I said, oh, heck, my day's coming, you know. And Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I couldn't wait till Friday. I don't know how I made it for those 4 days. So I told Uncle Doc, and I lied to him. I said, Uncle Doc, I'm gonna have to quit because I can go back to school now. He said, I know it, I was gonna fight you anyway. But that man was something, he was like a black Superman. I could never ever understand how he was so strong. And this guy was, I guess he was my side, like the doctor was, but he could pick up two logs, 2 trees, and I don't know where he got his, I guess he was, I don't know. Anyway, he was a black Superman. I'm serious. I've never ever seen nothing like that in my life, you know. So anyway, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I'm gonna go on and talk to you something about, a little about the family tree, because I don't want to disturb you guys. So I'm gonna tell you a little about. All right.
I want to go back and fill in a little bit of that you already talked about before you get into the other stuff.
Okay, all right, well, this is Uncle Doc's son. And I think that's where he got his work from, because he works just like Uncle Doc. I couldn't work with him either, you know.
I just want to tell you a little bit more about Uncle Harmon. See, we live not too far from him there. And I remember one time we went hunting. And we got to this pond. We got to this pond. He says to me, he said, you know, he said, there's a big old gator over there. He said, and he kind of laughed like Chucky. He said, yeah. I'm going to catch him. And I said, you're going to catch him? And so he walked around, and this thing was over there. He pulled his shirt off, and you have to know him. He was a mighty man. I'm going to tell you, powerful as I don't know what. And he jumps over and grabbed that gator. He grabbed that gator. I'm going to tell you, he grabbed that gator on his back, pulled his head up, and brought him out. It scared me so until I almost had a heart attack, I thought. But I just wanted to fill that part in. Now, back to my daddy. After school, back in the country, you don't have too much work that you can find to do. So I was, maybe in the 9th, 10th grade, 11th grade or something. And so I went to work out with my daddy. And he said, and he called me, my family called me Buddy. He said, Buddy, he was stacking this. Well, you have to understand that they dried the lumber, 20 foot tall, 18-foot pieces. 2x4s, 2x10s, 2x12s, green. Those things are heavy. And like Dougie say, you pick one of them things up, and both ends will be touching the ground. And he was stacking, and he told me, he said, Buddy, every time I put one of these up, you put one of them. And it was like July and August, when it was so hot until back in the country, you look through where it's clear and you look like little monkeys jumping up. It was so hot. And so he was stacking this lumber. And I remember the time sometimes they had a machine with a truck on the back that pulls this lumber up. He would be on the top of this thing laying these plates of lumber down. But anyway, that one day, about the second day I went out, and most of it was 10 by 12 long. And he was telling me, all right, buddy, every time I put one up, you put one up. And so I put a couple of them up, managed to get a couple of them up, and it was hot. It was in the middle of the day. And so I saw this big old pure type lumber piles. They was all drying, you know. And so I was scuffing trying to get this thing up. So when he went to get one, I disappeared. And I was there till time to go home, and I've never been back since.
Well, I really didn't tell y'all enough about Uncle Doc and Uncle Homer.
Oh my God, you look just like your mother.
Can y'all hear me now? Okay. I really tell y'all enough about my uncles, but those are two of the uncles that I really grew up with, and I really got a chance to appreciate them in life. I'm gonna get into our family tree now a little bit. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I got a question for you. Okay. I'm gonna talk to you about the Davis family, but I'm gonna remember and tell y'all, no matter what your name is, your last name is, we all came from a Davis. Okay. I want you to know that. Without my mother, our mother, Estelle daddy, the daddy, it wouldn't be Davises. We wouldn't be here today. My name is Carter, but believe it or not, I got Davis blood in me. Okay? My mother was born a Davis. Got a question for you. A trivia question. I want anybody, even Estelle, Josephine, and I want you all to tell me how many kids were in the Davis family, who was the mother and the father, the matriarch and the patriarch. And I don't want no middle names, I want their full names, not Buddy or whoever. I've got $5 I want to give anybody who can tell me how many kids was in the Davis family and their names, okay? Can anybody do that?
I think I can.
And their full names. Okay, I don't want to be Buddy. You got $4. You got $5.
I don't mind trying.
Go ahead. I got $5 for you. Okay, all right.
Okay,
First of all, I want you to give me who's the matriarch and the patriarch of the Davis family, and give me the kid's name. And tell me how many was it?
All right, there's Sarah Ann and Elizabeth Davis.
Okay.
There is Henry Davis Sr.
Okay, that's the matriarch and the patriarch. Okay, give me the kid's name.
There is
How many kids were?
14 kids.
As you were, there were 12 kids.
I always heard it was 14. Okay, wait a minute.
I'm going to show you.
Wait just a minute.
A lie. I'm not talking about the dead. Oh, go ahead.
No, wait just a minute. There was 14 they raised. 12 they owned.
Okay.
Am I right?
You're right so far. But
Okay, I'll name them.
Okay.
There was
How many girls and how many boys? Hello?
6 girls and 6 boys.
Correct.
There was James Garfield Davis.
That's one. Your granddad.
There was Zella Davis.
That's 2. Was she the oldest or the youngest?
Don't ask me that. I'm the oldest daughter.
Okay, she was the oldest. You're right. Who was the oldest?
There is
That's 2.
wait a minute now. There is Louise Davis.
That's correct. And you had a twin. That's your name. What's your name?
She had a twin named Arthur. The one I'm
Okay,
named
that's four.
after,
That's
both
four.
sides of the family.
That's 4.
There was Marja Davis.
5.
There was Clara Davis.
6.
There was Thelma Davis.
7.
Let me back up and put. Thelma was the baby. There was Lassa Davis,
Okay.
and there was Thelma Davis,
Okay. 7.
and there was Berman.
I said I don't want no nicknames. I don't want no nicknames. I don't want no nicknames. $5.
Herman Davis.
Okay. That's not 12.
That's not 12 yet? Henry.
Okay. All right. How many is that?
Huh?
How many is that?
That's 12.
You got it. You got $5.
No, you got to pay it. That's your money. That's your money.
It's a pleasure to do
Okay?
Let's give him a hand. I like that.
I really didn't think nobody could do that. Estelle, Josephine, they did it. I was depending on y'all to come in there and say something, but nobody said anything, you know? Huh? I thought he named him. Okay, he named him, didn't he? Okay, he did. Yeah. It was 12 kids, it was 6 girls, 6 boys, okay? That they physically actually raised, all right? 6 girls and 6 boys.
Well, at least they know the foundation.
They know the foundation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I got another question, trivia question. Did our grandmother have any sisters and brothers? Our grandmother.
Yes.
Who is your grandmother?
Could you name them? Why? Is anybody that's older than I can name them?
Probably.
My God, okay.
So your question again?
My question is, did our grandmother, oh, I can't about to fall, have any sisters and brothers?
Yes.
Could you name them?
I might not can name them in order.
I don't want you to name them all, just
Okay.
name them, you know.
Okay.
Okay.
She had a brother by the name of James.
Boy, this guy is good. Okay,
She had another brother by the name of Group.
that's right.
She had a sister by the name of Mary.
You been reading?
No, that's all from my family. Now, that's all I know. She might have had others, but those I do know.
She had a brother, you good out. She had a brother named Benjamin.
That I do know.
Benjamin Thompson. SL and Josephine, did y'all know that?
I didn't know that.
You learned something now.
You writing all that down so we
I have a copy of pamphlet to give you, Mrs. Davis. Okay? Yes, ma'am. Wait now. You asked me that. I heard that, Josephine. I heard.
Priscilla Jackson?
Yeah, I heard that, but I'm not sure of that. Okay. Not sure. Okay. One other trivia question. I don't know how to ask that, but that's okay. We're gonna go around, and I'm not going to do that because I'll ask it, and I will probably know about it. But anyway, I'm going to really appreciate all the things. I'm not going to elaborate anymore, but I really appreciate everybody coming. But I wanted to say something else too about our grandfather. Okay. And I bet you Art doesn't notice, of course, he's gone. But maybe Josephine, maybe Esther knows. Henry Davis, did he have any sisters or brothers? Our grandfather. I lost it again, man.
Well, Estelle looking like, what are you talking about?
I lost it again. Okay. Got one question. Estelle, Buddy, Josephine, did our granddaddy have any sisters or brothers?
I don't know either. I just barely know about grandfather.
Okay. He did. I found out. I'm not trying to put y'all on the spot or anything like that.
What was the question again?
Did our grandfather have any sisters or brothers? Henry Davis.
You got me.
Mm-hmm.
That one I don't know.
Okay. Well, anyhow, I'm gonna tell you, he did. He had a brother named Morris Davis, okay? And he had a sister named Elizabeth Davis. Would you believe that?
Say again, Doctor.
He had a sister named Elizabeth Davis, and he had a brother named Morris Davis. Morris Davis, okay? Now, one other question. Who is, I want you to hear this too, Josephine and Estelle. Who is the oldest grandson that's living And who is the youngest grandson that's living from the Davis side of the family?
You?
I didn't ask you, Melita. Melita's been reading. Who is the oldest grandson of the Davis family? That's living. Living. Now, not dead, living.
Walton?
Not the oldest. I'm not the oldest. Anybody, can any of the older Davises answer that question? Now you're thinking, aren't you? Who is the oldest Davis grandson? Who? All right, can you answer that question?
Yeah.
Who's the oldest grandson that's living today, and who's the youngest grandson from the Davis side of the family? The oldest and the youngest.
Okay, that would be,
I think it is between Zach, Johnny. Who's the oldest?
Maybe Johnny.
I think Johnny is the oldest, okay? Who's the youngest grandson?
No, you're
I
right.
say living now. Living.
Fred.
Fred is older than the rest of them?
Fred is older than Johnny.
Here?
Fred is older than Johnny.
Here?
Yes, he is.
He said
Okay,
Fred.
who's the youngest grandson?
Samuel. Sam.
Negative. Negative.
Huh?
Who's the youngest grandson from the Davis family?
Sam.
I'm younger than Peter and Peggy. I'm the youngest.
You younger than Peter?
I'm younger than Peter and Peggy. I'm the youngest grandson from the Davis family. Okay? By the way, y'all, I'm 77 years old and I'm the youngest. Okay?
W.
Yes.
You older than I am.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't say it. Don't say
No, I ain't gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. But yeah, believe it or not, we have longevity in our family. And I think I told you guys that my mom was 99 years old when she died. 99. Because I think anybody in this room, she had houses, property galore. And I don't want to sound braggadocious, but I'm just telling you what I know, okay? And we have longevity again. I'll repeat that. Yes,
Aunt Louise was 100.
She was?
Aunt Louise was 100.
Okay, well, I didn't see. I'm learning something from my myself.
My mother was 3 months short of being 94.
I know. Now, I know about your
My mother
mom.
was 99.
Yeah, that's right.
We had one more, I think was 100.
Yeah, yeah. So you guys got to remember, again, it's a lot of Davises. We all came from the Davis side of the family, and that's something we, as they say, we can get our friends. We always. Okay. But anyway, I wanna do a little presentation here. That I gotta say, my wife thought of this, so I got a couple of cousins that always call me, and I love everybody now. So I just want to give them a gift that my wife thought of, and we always try to stay in touch with each other. So, Valerie, could you please give Josephine something, and could you please give Estelle a gift? We always stay with each other. So you get a certain age, they like to lift those. Women, I don't know why they like those or whatever, but Valerie picked up something for them and for somebody else too, but I don't see who they are, so we just make sure.
It's me. She picked up something for me.
Okay.
Yeah, she picked up something for me too.
They can open it themselves, Valerie. But
Turn it around. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh.
It's a family tree thing. I remember one time I gave Josephine a little toy and she said, love it to death. And so,
Lift it up. Oh, that's beautiful.
so it has all of our names, well not all of our names, but some of the relatives and stuff on my side of the family and all too. But Valerie did that and she surprised me about it.
Yeah.
She really did,
Beautiful.
So give it to them, Valerie, please. You didn't have to open it.
I just wanted them to see it.
That was great.
Yeah, she had to open it.
That was nice.
Estelle just seemed like a little cold. They didn't like, I don't know, we cover up in or something, I don't know,
Try to stay warm these 8 years.
but, but,
Thank you, honey.
but all right, we didn't forget you. We got something for the guys, from Cusville, since you're standing up. I had them for Buddy and Art and Floyd, but Floyd kind of threw a monkey wrench in. So Buddy, could you please give that to Floyd when you stand next year? Estelle, could you please give that to Buddy, Estelle, please, the cup? Ms. Davis, could you please give that to Buddy when you send, please?
All right. He'll be here tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I think that kind of concludes. But I want to thank everybody for coming, and especially the committee. There are some of us, Earlene, Annette, Cha-Cha, we couldn't have done this without you guys, okay? I want to make sure that I give you all credit for this. And then I think this kind of concludes my little presentation. So whoever's next, I really want to go deeper into the family, but I won't go anymore. I'll just stop. I think Vince or Earlene, somebody can relieve me. So, yeah, Art reminded me about our grandmother. You know, I really didn't elaborate too much about her, but our grandmother could really take her feet and scratch her head, okay? No, I'm serious. And she had so many people would come, white, black, what color you are, standing in line in her house. She was really an herb doctor. I don't know where she got that from or whatever, but the lady was unreal. That's all. That's about the best thing that I could say. That I remember one time, mother told me, for our grandmother, she said, the people would come and stand in a line in the house, and you couldn't even get in the house. There used to be so many people there. The doctors had given up on these people. For some reason, I don't know, she had her herbs and all mixed up, and she got whatever illness they had, she got rid of it. She really did. And I couldn't believe that. I'm going to tell you something else my mother also told me. Grandma had like 100 acres of land. And back then, an acre of land was 25 cents an acre. 25 cents an acre. And mother said they were surveying that one time, and Grandma told us, said, that's enough. I said, Mother, why did she get 300 acres? She said, Grandma said that was enough. 100 acres of land. And all down there, I'm going to tell you where that land is right now. All down there was the Thompson and the Davidsons. All that land was owned by them. 100 acres, 80 acres, all that was a part of our family. Grandma really came, maiden name was Thompson. You guys know that, right? Gripper Thomas and all of them, all originated from that. So you got to remember, again, if your name is Jackson, anything, Carter, whatever, it all came from the Davis side of the family. All right? We will be nowhere again without them. That's it. That's all I have. I'll remind me of something else, okay? I was older now, so he can remember more than I can.
I don't remind, but I want to share something else with them. That's because back in 1973, I went to work for the sheriff department. 1980, I'd taken over the corrections department as administrator there. I used to carry the inmates over to the clinic. So one day when I was had taken some inmates there, and I was sitting guarding the inmates, there was a white guy, an elder white guy in the clinic. And he had a couple of doctors and nurses standing around. And he was sharing them stories about this outstanding herb doctor. The best doctor, he said, as far as he's concerned, was in the world. He says that her name was Sarah Ann Elizabeth Davis. I was sitting over here on the bench and guarding the inmates, and he kept talking, and boy, he had people was listening, you know, and he was telling them about her background, her nationality. Say she was part Indian. Her mother was a full-blooded Seminole Indian, and how she would heal these people. And he said he was one of these people that was in her house, and he stayed there until he was totally healed. He said the doctors had gave up on him and said this lady was like a miracle person. And I'm sitting there listening, and I say, I got up and I asked him, I said, sir, I said, where you say you're from? He said, I'm from Tallahassee. And I said, this lady that you talk about, what's her name? Sarah Ann Elizabeth Davis, he said, the best herb doctor it is in the world. I said, that's my grandmother. But I was so shocked, and I was a little bit stupid too. I didn't get the man's name or phone number, and he just went on talking, and he had a gathering of people to tell him. So, for a fact, and I didn't live too far from where my grandmother and I spent a lot of time there. And I am a living witness that I would go there and there would be wall-to-wall people in that house. And she would heal those people. And they would stay there until they was well. I am a witness myself that when I was growing up, something happened to one of my sides. I don't know whether it was appendix or what. But my mother sent for her. She went out in the woods and got some kind of herb or made a tea. I drank that tea, and within 2 days, I was healed. I never had any ailments, no nothing. I never went to a medical doctor until I was married and had 2 kids. That's a fact.
I know, you told me. I do have some handouts, a little about the, there we go, okay. I do have some handouts that I'm going to give, not to everyone here, but to every family member, to every family, not everybody, but every family member. I'm going to give you something that you can take back, which is a copy of the Henry Davis and Elizabeth matriarch and the patriarch of the family. And believe it or not, you need to keep this because it tells you about your background. You know, I wouldn't have known these things if I hadn't done some research. My son started this, and he told me the other day, and here I am, 77 years old. I just basically found out the date and the time and all my daddy died. He likes to do a lot of research. So, but anyway, I'm gonna give you one copy, not to everybody. I'll reiterate again, just to the people, one per family, okay? I'll give this to you so you can have to take back with you, okay? As we say in Hawaii, mahalo.